Dude, getting out of the Brown Stadium was fucking miserable. An hour and a half it took you. That can't be a stadium people want to go to.
It's not New York, or New Jersey. You can get cops everywhere.
God, it is something.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
But overall, everything was fun.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Tiger Hawk Sports fans, to another Tiger Hawk Sports podcast. Had to jump right into it. We got so much to talk about. Obviously, we just did that stadium tour. You followed us on our social media platforms. You knew exactly where we were, every single move. And, I mean, so let's just break it down what we kind of did. Because, I mean, didn't get it.
For those that don't know, it's been a bucket list of ours, podcast or not, to go to every stadium NFL plays in. Obviously, it keeps growing because the international game. But so far, when we say stadium tour, it's not like, oh, go to a game, just leave. I'm talking, we're getting there 4 hours before, we're trying to see the players, we're tailgating, we're eating food a little bit, we're spending time at the stadium, we're spending time in the city. That's what a stadium tour is, to me at least.
Walking around the stadium.
So our stadium tour,
the crowd and everything.
Our stadium tour so far consisted of FedEx Field, M&T Bank Stadium last year, and this year we did two. We went on a road trip to Asker Stadium in Pittsburgh and Cleveland Browns Stadium in Cleveland. So let's start off with your overall thoughts of Pittsburgh, the stadium, the city, what you like, what you didn't like.
I am, of course. And I had a lot of I hopes going to Pittsburgh. I don't know what your thoughts were going in. I've talked to a lot of people that's been in the area. I have one of my close buddies in college is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. RIP to him because they're good, but they haven't won anything in a while. But in general, he told me a lot about what's going on down there and things to places to check out. We checked out a couple places. We'll get into those, but I think overall, I think Pittsburgh, I enjoyed the city better, especially we just stayed in a very good location hotel. So our hotel was very nice. And I thought the stadium was very nice.
So let's talk about the city, like you just mentioned. I think out of all the stadiums we went to, I think Pittsburgh City obviously is number one.
Oh, yeah.
My expectations of Pittsburgh City were blown out of the water. I did not expect it to be that good. It was really nice. I really liked it.
So what did you expect going to Pittsburgh then?
I thought, I don't know. Yeah, so like I associated it with the fans. Like it's gonna be like this just tough, gritty place. Like I don't know. I didn't think it was as I don't know what the word is. Like for people our age, we're 24.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be. I thought it'd be like a lot of like redneck bars. Like you're going to get beer, not like a southern type place, but like a redneck place with like big dudes with beards that have Steeler jerseys on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or going to watch college basketball or college.
I mean, we saw. I think we did see a decent handful of those people.
It was completely blew out of the water. I mean, there's so much to do there.
I mean, do you know what blew me really out of the water though? How many colleges are within that radius?
That's what I'm saying. Like for people our age, like Pittsburgh isn't a place where I thought like, okay, I'm gonna go to Pittsburgh because it's gonna be sick. Like I would take a trip there just to go out.
Yeah, for sure. That would. I mean,
but we have to learn from our mistake. If you are listening to this and you're gonna go to Pittsburgh, do not go to the South Side.
Yeah,
we were told that.
Yeah,
so
please do not go. It's not fun.
I mean,
we have one drink there.
It's different for everybody, but if you're going for the clubby, going out type place, like you're a college type place, do not go to the South Side.
Definitely a little sketch down there too.
We were literally told that they put portable lights on the street to make sure that they could see everything. So that's when you know.
But not about the city of Pittsburgh. Obviously, the city was great, but one thing I really did love about Pittsburgh. So we're going with I didn't like about Pittsburgh first. So obviously, when we do our stadium tours, we like to interact with the fans, and they didn't really. I'm not the fans. They interact with the players. I mean, and the players parked and then hopped on a bus to drive across the street to go in the stadium. We really didn't get a good play on who the players were.
For me, like if you're a player like that, like you have. I'm not trying to say this just because we went, but like if you're a player, you have all these fans that are paying $200, $300 each ticket no matter where they're sitting, like you get a row that's all the way up top for $50. Say the tickets are cheap, you're getting a $50 ticket all the way to the nosebleeds. You're still going there, spending the money on parking. You're spending the money on food. You're probably buying some merch. You're probably doing something. So you end up spending at least $200. You get a good seat, you spend $200 just on the ticket. And you're a player, and all they want to do is come watch you play and do your job. And it was very just clear to me that it's not like it was an inconvenience to just walk across the street and go into the stadium. I mean, I guess the way Pittsburgh is set up, sure, but like even in
But, like,
Cleveland,
But even
even in Cleveland, like you're parking across the street. All the fans are doing are looking to say hi to you. It's not like you're gonna get mobbed. Yeah, they're gonna take a picture of you. They paid $200, $500 of spending a good amount of their paycheck to go watch you play. The least you could do is walk across and say hi to wait.
I mean, but it's not even the fact that I don't mind that they went across the street because they were fans by where they were parking. The courtesy what they could have done is walked up and said, "Hey, I took a picture, signed something with people," but
Pittsburgh
they
is
just
not
walked right to the bus.
Pittsburgh is not necessarily my problem. It was Cleveland. It's like, dude, you're going across on a golf cart. We can clearly see who you are. It's not like you're escaping going in there.
Yeah, that too.
Like, just walk across, say hi, or like, stop. It's just so
So why don't we just break it down then?
Yeah,
Obviously, we
taking your money at that point.
yeah. I mean, I wasn't a fan of that. It was cool seeing the players get out of the cars and seeing what kind of cars they drive. We definitely saw some nice fucking cars.
Still, it's not like
But it's still, for the fan interaction and what a fan to do.
okay. And then another thing,
I don't
like
like it.
you're spending. These guys are spending like, I mean, they have the money to do it, but they're spending G's on the outfits that they're putting on for these games, and you're spending $1,000 on some Gucci fucking shirt, these big gold chain necklaces, these Louis Vuitton, Ray-Ban shit, and you're walking out of your car, going on a golf cart, and then going into the locker room. What's the point of spending all that money? No one's gonna see your outfit. Like, that's just me. But back to Pittsburgh, getting off topic. Like you said, we did try to go there for the players, and they took the bus over. But we did get a little closer. We hopped over the other side, went towards the player parking lot. We saw a couple players, looked like more of the rookies, so we had a little bit of trouble piecing together who they were. But for the most part, it was honestly,
I mean,
Pittsburgh overall, I like the location a lot.
Well,
The stadium.
the location was good, but it was like stuff that around it. I think what makes a good stadium tour for us, especially if we're younger now, and still in general, I think it won't change. I was see a stadium that had stuff going on. There was a lot of stuff going on in Pittsburgh. They had an entire street blocked off with stuff going on. Obviously, they had the bars next to the stadium.
They had a strip of bars that was really cool.
The stadium looked very cool. There's a lot of things going on, and obviously we'll get into inside the stadium in a second. But I think overall the outside of the stadium, with everything, I saw a lot of tailgates going on. Saw a lot of there's really things you can interact with and things that make fans want to be a part of Pittsburgh and that atmosphere. With some places I want to go, and the location was great too.
Yeah, I think the location, like the tailgating, obviously we got there a little early, so we weren't around the tailgating as much, especially since we were going to the players. But we ended up going to, they call it in Pittsburgh, it's called the North Side.
Yeah.
Right by, it's called the Strip actually. And you're going over there and there's a bunch of bars, there's burger places, there's restaurants. We ended up grabbing food out at this bar beforehand. I thought it was great. It was quick. You sit down right away. You grab a good drink, you get quick food, and you can go right to the game. And it's not busy because you can easily walk around over there. They close off everything. So I thought the atmosphere of being at the game as well was great on game day. I like that they did the lights for the primetime game. That was another thing I liked. But for me, if I were gonna knock Pittsburgh in one way, and I hope there's some Steelers fans. I don't know if it was the game itself being not a high scoring game, but a primetime game in your home field, and you have a winning record, you're fighting for the division. I expected that, and again, I don't know, also could have been the 30-degree weather. It was very cold that night.
Very underestimated that weather too.
I don't know if the weather, the fact you're playing the Titans, I don't know what it was. I expected Steelers fans to be a lot more rowdy. They were not as rowdy as I thought they would be. But
I
then again,
mean, yes, I mean, I think they could have been more, but there were certain atmospheres that, if you checked out our Instagram post today, you saw some that we put out there. I think one of the best traditions. I mean, obviously, we went to
terrible towels.
we went to Canton, Ohio. We definitely saw the terrible towel in numerous showcases, and we'll get into that as well. But I thought that was one of the cool traditions I've been a part of. Especially the
I-
renegade, everyone going nuts.
Yeah.
We saw some guy smash a beer over his head. I don't know. He does it every show game or his first ever game showing up to. He wanted to do it, but
I
think that-
definitely think that that's a good point. I think the tradition in Pittsburgh is good, but the crowd itself was just not.
I feel like
Crowd.
you heard the crowd at those moments, but you didn't hear it at the other moments.
I'll give them a pass because of the weather. I think it was 3-degree weather. Everybody was cold.
That's not an excuse, though.
But
I don't think
still,
that. If you're a diehard Pittsburgh fan, you live in Pittsburgh, you have
Then-
tickets, you go to the fucking game.
You just mentioned it. You kind of gave it away, but in the middle of our tour, we went Thursday because it was a Thursday night game. We stayed an extra night and ended up Saturday on our way to Cleveland, going to Canton, Ohio, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and it was everything I expected it to be. Maybe
Before you jump into it,
maybe don't want to ruin it for everybody, but maybe a little bit more interactive would have been cooler. Like having more interactive
yeah.
stuff.
I mean,
I did like they had a replay booth that we were able to do that.
yeah, that was really cool. And I mean, I went back when I was 12, and I amount of time I told Chris that he looked at me like, cool, bro. But like I said, it was everything and more from that too, because I remember it. I remember the location. I remember
But now you also
doing
understand
stuff.
it a
But
little.
yeah,
Puts more context.
but I guess one of the coolest things too about that though was they had this locker room set up, which they had these people come in and talk, and I'm not going to spoil who's there. I don't think that's worth it. You got to go to it. But they have these legend coaches and players talking and telling stories. And when the coaches came out and talked, I wanted to run through a fucking brick wall.
Yeah.
Like it got me inspired to start a job, fucking keep going this podcast and fucking run through a goddamn brick wall. It's just that's what coaches did back
I
then.
also really like the setup of the Hall of Fame where they had you walk in and it's like the first generation of
Yep.
football. They give you all the history. They have a bunch of pastime stuff and all that. And then when you go to the other level, you really get into what people know about the Hall of Fame, where it's the bronze or whatever, the heads,
And
the rings, the gold jackets. Then you go to the modern era where it's
I
like
mean, I thought that
the
was really
small
cool
records.
because there were records that happened this year in it too, and
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Tuca was in
yeah.
the Hall of Fame.
yeah, that's just really cool, especially for someone that is a rookie to be mentioned in that. Like
And then
he's gonna be in the rest of his life, and it's not just
you're
there for the time being.
yeah, and then you're leaving the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and they kind of have like the TV, the media side of it, where it's like NBC, all that. But they also have the Lombardi Trophy, and you're walking out into the Super Bowl champion hallway, basically. You see all the Super Bowl rings, you see Lombardi Trophy, you see all that stuff. So I thought the Pro Football Hall of Fame was really cool. We
Yeah.
also brought football, and we wanted to go to the stadium, but they had a nice field next to it, ran some routes over there.
You just small ball, so it was kind of difficult. But I mean, I got the ability to run some
Not
matches.
difficult for me.
It's just something I did when I was 12. So
It wasn't really
then
difficult for me.
I remember I got one knee, buddy. So,
Sounds like a you problem.
fuck you.
You don't
But-
need your knee to catch, by the way.
But
Or
we'll get into it.
But
Then we went over
Cleveland,
to Cleveland. Obviously, Saturday night didn't really do much. Showed the hotel.
but
Wasn't much, but we also didn't stay in the town of Cleveland. We stayed in a hotel out like 20 minutes from the stadium. So
yeah,
there was
yes. You know what Cleveland reminds me of? I don't know if everybody would exactly get it, but the people around here in New Jersey would, and I know you would. Cleveland gave me like a Newark, New Jersey type vibe. almost.
oh, okay, hands down, I completely agree.
It gave me like
Yeah.
a Newark, New Jersey. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, gave me a mix of like Manhattan and Philly. Cleveland gave me like
Yep,
a
yep.
Newark.
I can completely agree. I mean, even when we got to the stadium and like headed towards that direction, obviously there was definitely a city of Cleveland, so there was something going on there, but there wasn't much to do. I mean, we walked to the stadium, I didn't see much going on. I mean, you did see a lot of pop-up stops for people want to sell Cleveland gear and you can buy Cleveland shit. I did think they have some cool Cleveland gadgets, to be honest, like the dog pound necklace and they had like a dog pound shirt and stuff like that. But in general, we did park at a point in Mount River Stadium, which a lot of people disappointingly, like you think about stadiums. I don't think stadiums typically do that. I thought when I thought about that idea, I thought I was fucking cool as shit.
The dog pound?
And well, I'm saying like the parking away from the stadium. I thought I was like cool idea. I thought I would be so smart, no one was gonna think of doing that, and turns out that that's all
that was brutal.
Cleveland does.
That's all
So-
Cleveland does. I guess it's kind of cool that the stadium is like on Lake Erie.
Yeah,
That's the one thing I will give them. That's kind of cool that's on Lake Erie, but like you're not thinking about that when you're in the stadium or when you're sitting in an hour of traffic going home. And there's really nothing on Lake Erie but
it's not even an hour of traffic going home. It's an hour of traffic
in the
to,
stadium.
to go 3 miles.
Yeah. But another thing about Cleveland, there just wasn't they're going through rebranding, so I guess we caught them at a wrong time. So again, I'll give them a little bit slack, just like I did Pittsburgh. But it wasn't much on the outside.
Yeah,
There wasn't
mean-
the tailgating or the food or anything like that, like
Yeah.
there was at Pittsburgh or these other stadiums. I will say the one thing I do like about the Browns is that they made it a little unique. They made everybody really feel like they're part of the same fan base
yeah.
with the dog pound.
I definitely did like that.
The dog pound.
Everyone said we are the
Underrated
brownies.
fan
And yes,
base.
I agree. Everyone said we are the brownies or we are the Browns, and they
I
did a
will
little
give an
dog pound.
unpopular opinion.
Let's hear it.
The dog pound is better than the Steel City fans.
I think that was the atmosphere of the game. I don't necessarily agree with
I
that.
think the dog pound is better than the Steel City fans. I saw someone dress up as a pumpkin head and he had a cardinal on a leash.
I think we caught the right moment.
He
I
was
saying,
he was called
I was-
Mr. Pumpkinhead. Everybody knew who he was. And he put a cardinal, they were playing the Cardinals, and he put a cardinal on a goddamn leash. Every time Kyler Murray or Jonathan Gannon walked into the locker room, he had that thing up in the air.
I'll give you that, but I don't fully agree with it. But I think it's an unpopular opinion. I'm not going to judge it.
And the stadium
But
itself, the
one thing-
color,
One thing I will say about stadium is I did like the outside look in the stadium,
the inside I think was great.
but I like the inside too. It looked, but to me it was really fucking weird because
I don't think it was that weird.
it felt like the stadium was pushed out, and if
How do you say that about Pittsburgh? Go look up Steelers Stadium. That's literally how it's set up. The Steelers Stadium, or whatever, Acrisure Stadium is a V.
but it doesn't look when you're in the stadium like that. When you're sitting when we sat, it looks like you're pushed farther away. Like if you're on the top
I don't
seats,
know about that.
you're pushed all the way back. That's
You
what
know-
it looked even
You know
below.
what Acrisure Stadium reminded me of? Rutgers. That's what it reminded me of. The way Rutgers is set up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it had a very similar. I did like going back to it. I did like the little dome things they had in the corners. They're like pretty cool. But like, I think the way the stadium was set up was not why I didn't like it. And again, I don't think there was a lot going on the outside.
I agree.
I definitely love the terrible tower tradition. The dog pound tradition is fucking unreal now.
The dog pound
But,
is sick. I'm not gonna dog
I
pound is
mean,
sick.
we also got to see 2 great games. Obviously, we haven't had that luck in the past. We did see it in the M&T Bank Stadium. We saw the Ravens, very good game. Last second, we knew Goodell would get when Tucker would drive it down the field, 30 seconds left. That was a good game.
Yeah.
But I think all in all, I think besides the parking, besides really the atmosphere around Cleveland, I thought the entire trip was more than what I expected.
Yeah, I
To
thought
be, to be honest.
it was definitely up there. So really quickly before we shut it down, rank the 4 that we've been to, 1 through 4.
So we going based off atmosphere, we going based off game, what we doing?
Overall, 1 through 4.
I saw another opinion here, just kind of thrown out there. I think from bringing the 4, if we go based off like actual the game and around the stadium, I think I have to go just the atmosphere of the game when we went to M&T Bank was the number 1
So M&T Bank 1.
because the atmosphere. If we went overall like
Overall,
Illinois and City, I go
overall,
Pittsburgh.
everything.
I know. I say Pittsburgh, but for the game itself, I say M&T Bank, and I like the stadium a lot. Then I got to go Terrible Tower, Pittsburgh.
So what's your number 1?
My number 1 M&T Bank.
Okay.
My number 2 is I'm gonna butcher the name, Acris
Acrisure.
Stadium. and then it is FEMA Stadium and athletics.
I would flop Ravens and Steelers, so I'd go Acrisure as 1 for me. 2 is MNC, 3 is Cleveland Browns, 4 is Austin FedEx. But I think we might be planning a West Coast trip next year, so we'll see. Maybe we'll jump out to MetLife. Give a small tour. We've never really done that.
Not
There's not much to it. So
But we're definitely looking to go somewhere, kind of recommendations. Obviously, you know, we do this now. We'll take them.
I'll bring you some
So-
highlights. We'll give you some posts out, some pictures, some videos, all that. So
of the entire vacation, not just stadium, not just where we were, but
Yeah.
pretty much everything we have from our full tour. Like I said, it's really started Thursday at 8 a.m. and ended Monday at 12:30 when we got home. Covered a lot, told you a lot about what we do. Please check us out on Instagram, Twitter, you name it, we have it. Definitely YouTube. And with that, Tiger Sports.
it's a good thing I didn't get a chance to watch that Eagles Cowboys game. Might have been a hole in TV.